Good day, everyone. In Nursing Research 2, we move from identifying a research problem and designing a study toward the actual process of collecting and measuring data. So, ang well-written research proposal will not produce credible findings unless the researchers gather the correct data. So use appropriate measurement procedures and minimize errors. Okay, so for module 1 to 4, we'll focus on 4 connected questions. First, what kind of data will be collected? Where and how will the data be collected? Third, how will the variables be measured? And fourth, what factors may cause measurement error? So that will cover ang 4 ka module. For module 1, we have types of research data and categories of data collection. So, ang aton diri matun-an, at the end of this module, you should be able to describe the different types of research data and also differentiate cross-sectional, retrospective, and prospective data, explain primary and secondary data collection, and identify appropriate examples of research data in nursing situations. So, this module, particularly the module 1, classifies research data according to the timing of data collection and explains the distinction between primary and secondary data. Okay. So, ang meaning anay aton hibalon. What is the meaning of research data? So, research data refer to the information collected, observed, measured, and recorded during a research investigation. Diba kung mag-collect na kamo data, ginakuha niyo yung mga information, kung ano yung ma-observe, kay kung wala sang data, wala ka mo sang i-measure, kag wala ka mo sang i-record para sa inyo nga research nga ginatun-an, no? Kung ano inyo gina-investigate. So, ang mga data, they may appear as numbers or word statements, no? Clinical measurements, observed behavior, medical records, laboratory findings, survey responses, di ba? Interview narratives, photographs or recordings, or institutional reports, di ba? If you can remember, I did ask you to make a letter, no, para i-approve ni sang aton din para maka-collect kita sang data. Okay? So, ano to mga data nga nakita ko sa pag ask nyo sa permission, di ba? Miyara ka mo itong gina-ask nga institutional reports, and then mga numbers, mga survey responses, so and so on. Amo na ang mga ginagather natin, mga steps para kung paano kita mag-investigate. Now, we have the type of data collected is influenced by. Okay? Ano ni mga data naton? Influenced by ano ini sila? Okay? Ano ang purpose? Why we're doing it? Why we're collecting the data? Okay? So, the data collected is influenced by the purpose of our study. And then, what is the research design of our study? Diba? Mayara ka mo sang research design. And then, ang research questions mo, dapat ga-align ni sila ang purpose of the study mo, ang research design nga gamiton mo, and the research questions, dapat ga-align ni sila. So, kung pila ang population in accordance sa study mo. Okay? And, of course, kung ano nga instrument nga ga-align, kag kung diin ang data mo i-collect. Kung ano man ang oras, ano man ang kung saan o kung diin. Okay? When, the time when the data are collected. So, inatanan, these are the reasons why we are collecting the data because of the purpose of our study. Okay? Sa atong nga research design, we don't just go out there collecting data. Nga wala kita sang guide, nga ang nga-collect kita sang data. Ano ang ga-influence sa aton to collect them? Okay? Alright, wala pa ta sa katapos And then, ang research data, amo ni siya naga-affect no, sa interpretation of findings and the conclusions that researchers can make. So, supposedly, butang tabi, let's say, no, ang imo nga title, Stress Levels and Clinical Performance of Third-Year Nursing Students. So, ang ano yung collect sa nursing students? So, of course, ang stress scores from a questionnaire, clinical performance ratings, number of clinical duty absences, interview responses about sources of stress. So, all these pieces of information, pwede ma-consider na research data nga ma-align kung ano ang ginastadihan. Okay? Kay dara na butang stress levels and clinical performance. So, makuha siya sang rating sa clinical performance, no? And then, ano ang mga rating dira under sa mga ratings na? Let's say, clinical duty absences, no? Tapos ma-interview sila nga ang ano ang mga sources ng stress ini para mabalaan ang levels man, di ba? So mahimo sila sang stress scores nga halin sa questionnaire. Okay, dira nila ma-collect ang data ang sabat. And then we have the types of research data according to time. So ang module 1 identifies tatlo ka major nga types. Okay? First, the cross-sectional data. Second, the retrospective data. Third, the prospective data. Ano ang cross-sectional data? Ang cross-sectional data, amo ni ang ginagather from participants at one point or during one limited period of time. So, ang researcher enters the study setting and collects information about what currently exists, kung ano ang nag-exist no, sa amo na nga time. So, a cross-section data provide naman niya sang snapshot of the population. So, let's say the study does not necessarily follow the participants for months or years, kundi snapshot siya, ang one point lang siya. Okay? So, ang sa module naton, nag-describe ang cross-sectional data as information collected at a given point after the study design has been completed. So, example sineha, level of hand hygiene compliance among nurses in selected hospital during August 2026. So, ang researcher ma-observe sa nurses during the identified data collection period. Sa amula na nga period. So, they are describing the current level of compliance. Okay? So, another example, knowledge of hypertension among adults in Barangay San Jose. So, the residents answered the questions only once. Yes, the questionnaire only once. So, ang researcher ma-measure sang the following among nursing students on one scheduled day. Kwaon nila abi ang weight, height, blood pressure, stress level, hours of sleep. So, ang researcher is collecting cross-sectional data because the measurements represent the participants' condition at that point in time. O ba snapshot sa amo lang gid na nga punto nga pag-collect sang data. So, ang important point di class, ang cross-sectional research can identify ang pinaka-current nga condition, kung ano ang ga-exist subong. So, ang present attitudes, no? Kung anong subong kag ang current na knowledge. So, ang possible relationships between variables at the, at the point of time sa amo gina nga exactly nga chimpo. Okay, so however, it is usually limited. That's why limited ni siya in determining whether one variable truly cause another, because ang tanan nga variables are measured within the same general period. Kumbaga, wala siya sing i-compare pa because you only check kung ano lang gid ang ga-exist subong. Okay, ano lang gid ang data ang ga-exist subong, amo lang gid na imo gina cross section. So, snapshot siya nga tawag. Amo na nga limited siya in determining whether the variable nga nakuha mo ga cause gid man, no? Kung ano ang imo ginastudihan, cause another, because all variables are measured within sa isa lang or the same general period. Okay. Now, let's check sa retrospective data. Retrospective data means looking backward. Pabalik naman, 'di ba? Kagina ang aton nga cross-sectional data or snapshot sa present, 'di ba? Naga-exist. Ang retrospective naman means looking backward. So, retrospective data concern events or conditions that occurred before the researchers began collecting data. So, ang mga data nga ni, ang retrospective means to say, studies are means to say, ginakuha mo na yung mga data nga naga-exist na nga daan. Okay, so data may be obtained, participants recall, interviews, questionnaires. So, tanan nga ni clinical record, incident reports, admission records, laboratory reports, nurses notes. Okay? So, the event has already happened. It is retrospective. Okay, or studies are sometimes called ex post facto studies. So, meaning, after the fact. Okay? Kung ano na to ang natabo na. Okay, so ang module nga ni naga-explain that retrospective data are collected after an event has already occurred, and that the findings may depend on the availability of the past data. Okay. So, I know, clear na ina sa inyo. Magamba kita cross-sectional, it's the existing data. Magamba kita naman sa retrospective, ang natabo na ng mga data. Kumbaga, it happened already. May records na. Okay. Now, ano naman ang limitations sang retrospective data? So, ang mga limitations ni mag-affect by, syempre, incomplete records. What if kung may pangita ka nga mga records, but ang mga na-note dito, ang mga na-record dito, hindi kompleto. So, there are missing information. Amo na isa sa mga limitations ng retrospective data. No, basta hindi siya mag-align sa imo nga mga questions sa imo study because nga may mga missing na data. So, labi na ang mga missing na data na ni nagasulod ini kung mayara sa mga poor documentation, lack of documentation. Tapos inaccurate nga participant recall. Okay, kung ga interview ka abi hindi ina gawa madumduman, no? And then, changes and record keeping procedures. Nagalain-lain ang ilang ang records. Futang tabi, naka-record sila amon ni. And then, there were changes. Lain naman ang pag-record nila sa mga data. So, and then, the difference in how health workers recorded information at that time. Okay. So, let's say, may question ako sa inyo. A researcher reviews the charts of patients, no? Nag-review sabi sa mga charts sa mga pasyente who develop pressure injuries during the previous year. So, in the study, ano diri ang gamiton? Is it cross-sectional o retrospective? Okay. The answer is retrospective. Why? Because ang cases nag-occur na before the study was initiated. Okay? Then we have the prospective data. Ano ining prospective data? Diba may tatlo kitang natunan, cross-sectional, retrospective, and prospective data. Now, here we are sa prospective data. So, ang prospective data naman, amo ni na means looking forward. So, prospective data are collected from events that occur after the research design has been completed. So, participants are usually observed or followed over time. So, sa sini nga module, nag-describes nga ang prospective data as future information. So, i-collect mo pa yung data para mabalaan mo. Okay, ang result. So, the module describes prospective data as future information collected after the study design is completed. So, hibalon mo pa siya. Okay, kuhaan mo pa siya data para mabalaan mo yung kung nag-answer siya sa mga questions mo. So, hindi siya yung data nga na ginkuha mo na sa records, hindi na siya yung data sa present, kundi yung data nga makuha mo kung tapos na yung study. Dara pa yung magwa ya ang result, ang data. Okay? So, ang data is in the future pa, looking forward. Alright. So, now we have the primary and secondary data. Ano ni ang primary and secondary data? Ang primary data are collected directly from the researchers, from the actual participants or sources for the specific study being conducted. So, ang example sini, ang pasyente masabat sa research-made questionnaire, mismo gid from the patient. Okay? Or, a nurse participates in an interview. So, research observes hand-washing behavior directly, no, from the participants. Okay? Ano naman ang secondary data collection. Secondary data collection, these are information nga previously na-collect na for another purpose but later used in a new study. Okay, so the module nag-identify, let's say, medical records. So that is secondary data. Satisfaction surveys nga ginubra sang una, organizational reports or government databases, no? So these are examples of secondary data. So ano pa gid ang laboratory registers, hospital annual reports, birth and death records, census reports. So these are secondary data. So while sa primary data, it is directly naging kuha, taken from the participants gidya. Okay, so that's just easy to understand, no? Tapos man lang na siya intindihan. Now let's go to module 2.